Jealous women love body shaming other women. If you are a cute woman, if you are a beautiful woman, if you have a beautiful face, a beautiful body, if you know how to dress well and carry yourself like a woman, best believe you are going to have some jealous, bitter, envious woman that's going to look at you and always find it her mission to make you feel like you do not have it going on. A lot of jealous women take joy, take pride in body shaming other women. And you don't have to be out of shape to be body shamed. You could be in perfect shape and a woman will body shame you simply because you are fit and fabulous, simply because you care about your health, simply because you care about how you present yourself and the way you clothe yourself, simply because you keep your hair together and you keep your skin together and you make sure you have beautiful jewelry and you keep your nails done and things like that. When a woman is jealous, she will make those normal things, those feminine things, those girly things seem abnormal because they are abnormal to her. A woman who is not kept, meaning a woman who does not keep herself together appearance-wise, will always hate on a woman who does. You don't have to be the most thinnest woman, but you could be a thin woman for your body type and for your culture. And a jealous woman will say something to the effect that you look like you're on something. Are you sick? Why are you so small? Why are you so skinny? Are you sick? Are you coming down with something? Is everything okay? You know, that fake concern. Do you need me to pray for you? You look like you're getting sick. See, a lot of women, they like to glamorize being out of shape, and I'm not putting down women who might not have the best bodies. My body is not perfect. But what I'm saying is that you have some women, instead of being able to just mind their business and let another woman be, when she is a jealous, envious hater, she will see a woman who is trying her best to keep her looks together and put that down. How many times have you been in a work environment, in a school environment, maybe networking or some kind of business, even in your family functions? How many times have you come in looking good, feeling good, smelling good to you, and somebody calls out something that you think is positive about yourself, but in a negative light? How many times have you walked into a room and bitter Betty, bitter cousin, jealous, envious cousin or auntie says something to you to the effect of, you're getting too skinny now, are you okay? You must be stressing. Because they're used to overweight being the standard. They're used to being unhealthy being the standard. They're not used to seeing a woman, especially if you're a woman of color, taking care of yourself. See, when women are jealous and envious, they find any little thing, especially about your appearance, to pick about. If you are doing the best you know how to do with what you have, you cannot let another woman make you feel bad about your appearance. And let's say you are a thick woman, you're a voluptuous woman, and you carry it well. You have some women, simply because they don't have the curves that you have, they will look down on that and try to convince you that you need to lose weight. They'll try to convince you that, oh, maybe that's a little bit too much. You know, you're carrying all that weight around your heart. You know, I've heard these kind of odd things, and it's not out of genuine concern. It's because they were being a hater. It's because your body type, your natural body shape is making them feel some kind of way. When a woman is insecure about her body, when she comes into contact with women who have the desired body shape that she wished she had, she will look at you, she will give you the skunk eye, she will make all kinds of faces, she will whisper and get other people to get on her team about you. And what a lot of women don't understand is that a lot of times when it comes to your appearance and the way you adorn yourself and the way you carry your weight and the way you take care of your nutrition and your skin, a lot of these things are things that you can control for the most part if you don't have medical issues. But a woman who is lazy, who is jealous, envious, and bitter, and she doesn't feel like she can do things to make herself look put together, instead of even trying, she will look at other women who put in the effort. When it comes to your appearance and the way you keep yourself as a woman, it has less to do with your body weight and your body type and more to do with how you choose to adorn yourself, the way you choose to clothe yourself, the way you carry your weight. A lot of women who are jealous and envious of other women, they are often too busy trying to follow trends instead of trying to be classically beautiful. And when women are more confident, more feminine, when they love how they look and they carry it well, they're more concerned with being authentic to who they are and their specific style and their specific type of clothing for their body. A woman who is confident is not going to try to squeeze her size 10, size 12 body into a size 4 or a size 6 because she knows it's not going to look great on her. But a woman who body shames other women, it's because she's always trying to keep up with the trends, and those things have her looking like a clown. See, women who are confident and are not haters, are not jealous, and actually admire the beauty in other women, they're often the women who take their time to make sure they look good no matter where they're going, no matter what they're doing. They want to look at least a little put together. Be it their hair done, be it they have on really nice clothes, but either way, their hair or their clothing, something's going to be top notch. It might not be that way completely. They might have on leisure athletic wear, but their hair, their skincare, all of that is going to be top par. But a woman who is jealous and likes to body shame other women, that's typically the woman you will see, and I'm just going to say it, you'll see her in the store with pajamas on. That's the one you're going to see in the store with the bonnet on. And I don't care how people receive this, it has to be said. When you are a woman of class, when you are a woman of confidence, when you care about how you present yourself to the world, unless you're leaving the hair salon and going to your car, you are not walking out in public with old dirty flip-flops, ashy heels, and a bonnet. You're just not doing it. You're not going to go into stores, into schools, into doctor's appointments with pajamas on, old dirty pajamas, unless you're at a sleepover or if you're in an event that requires you to have on pajamas, you're just not doing it. But those are typically the women who will ball up their face at other women who take the time to put themselves together. And instead of trying to do what they do, they will look at that woman that puts herself together and body shame her. They will say things to other people like, I would never want to be that small. It just doesn't look good. I'm a grown woman. I don't need to be that small. As if somehow having a natural fit figure makes a woman somehow less womanly because she doesn't have any curves. I know for me personally, I have curves. I want to have curves. I'm supposed to have curves. But there are some women who are not built that way. They are more just, straight. They don't have too many curves. They're more fit. They're more, athletic build, if you want to say that. But a woman who is jealous of that body type and wish she looked that way, she will put that woman down. See, confident women don't feel the need to body shame other women. And I'm not talking about your health. I'm not talking about losing weight if you need to because it's affecting your body and your health. That is something you need to do. And nor do you have to be skinny in order to be seen as beautiful, because you have some women who think skinny is the standard, and it absolutely is not. Being healthy, being confident in your body, that is the standard. But a jealous woman, she doesn't care about any of that. She only cares about putting other women down because she feels uncomfortable with her body. God forbid you're a woman who, you can make it look really good when you want to. You might not dress up all the time, but when you do, you look amazing. You look absolutely stunning. And when you walk in a room and feel comfortable and confident and suddenly you feel that energy shift, normally you're in the presence of a hater. You're in the presence of a woman who's like, she got that who does she think she is kind of spirit. Who does she think she is? She thinks she cute, this and that. And that's when you have to be the type of woman that doesn't care who's around, who says whatever they says about you, and you still present anyway. I have heard of some women who actually don't want to dress up. They don't want to have their hair done that much because they feel like they're doing too much. They don't want to make other people feel uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to get too dressed up because everybody's going to be looking. Let them look. I'm not saying be inappropriate in how you're dressing. Don't have everything hanging out. But if you are naturally a woman that dresses up, and when you get dressed up, you look like top tier, like you look absolutely stunning, like people are going to be looking like, where are you going? Do that. It's nothing wrong with that. I think many women because of the fear of what jealous people are going to say, of what the haters are going to say, because you're around women who don't typically care about those kind of things depending on your environment, you tend to dumb yourself down a bit because you don't want other people to feel comfortable. Don't let people body shame you into believing that somehow dressing up is like doing too much. That is your womanly right. That is your feminine right as a woman. And I think so many of us like to suppress our personalities, suppress our unique style, suppress just feeling confident within our skin simply because we don't want other people to think that we're doing too much. We have been taught that being confident in who you are as a woman and just embracing your womanhood is somehow being conceited, being arrogant. Oh, you don't have to do all of that. Why not? Why can't you put on your best clothes? Why can't you put on the best, your lip glosses or your makeup if you wear it, and your hair and all of that kind of stuff? Why can't you have it done up? All because you're worried that some basic Betty is going to think that you're doing too much? Who cares? And it's not to put down other women, but I'm talking about women who try to make other women who care about how they look feel bad. Yeah, it's odd. A lot of women, I just put on the jeans and a t-shirt. We're only going out here. I'm just going to put that on. Why? If you desire to put on your nice dress, why? Because you're afraid that you're going to be around other women who look like they rolled out of bed and you don't want to stand out. You're supposed to stand out. As a feminine woman, you're going to stand out. And it's not that you walk around like you're the queen or you walk around like you're better than somebody. But if you're beautiful, there's nothing wrong with showing your beauty in a modest and appropriate and a classy way. I'm not saying if your mama gave it to you, show it. I'm not talking about in that ratchet kind of way, showing all your backside and your breasts and all that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying if you're beautiful and you've been blessed, you've been blessed with beauty. That wasn't beautiful a moment ago. If you've been blessed with beauty, don't be afraid to show it out of fear of what the haters are going to say. That is the point. Don't allow women, when women are intimidated by how you look, and you can have a beautiful face, a beautiful smile, it can be anything. And don't think you have to be a beauty queen in order for somebody to be intimidated or feel some kind of way about how you look. Because it's not so much about your features and all of that. It's about the way you carry it. Your confidence precedes who you are as a woman. And when you're dealing with a jealous, envious woman, she might be absolutely beautiful, but she does not have the same feminine charm, the feminine grace, the class that you have. She may not have that. And when she doesn't have it and she sees another woman with it, that's going to make her feel some kind of way. And you cannot let that stop you from being confident in who you are in her presence. Don't let bitter women, and this is what it comes down to, do not let bitter, jealous women make you feel uncomfortable about how you look. Don't dumb down your looks, dumb down your style and the way you carry yourself simply because you're around women who feel intimidated by your beauty, by your body, by your feminine charm, and by your nature as a woman. Don't let them do that to you, okay? Have you ever been with someone, whether it be in a relationship or a friendship, and you have to go out somewhere, and it might be somewhere you're running to real quick, and they say, come on, we're just going to run to like Wawa, we're running to Dunkin' Donuts real quick, and they say something to the effect, why are you getting all dressed up? We're just running to Wawa. We're just running to Dunkin' Donuts. We're just running to wherever. I do not like that, especially when it comes from men. My husband tried that with me a couple weeks ago, where we were going to run to Wawa, and mind you, he just came from the barbershop, so he has a fresh lineup, fresh cut, nice iron polo shirt and jeans, and got on his nice sneaks, and you're going to tell me we're only going here? No, sir. We will not be going out in the public where you're looking all like a snack and I'm going out looking like the bag lady. That's absolutely not happening. So you will give me time to get myself together. Yeah, I just don't like that. And as innocent as it was, I think men and sometimes women too do these kind of things. They really don't understand that your public perception, the way people see you in public, is the way they will view you when they see you from here on out. So if you run into somebody that you happen to know in public and you're not looking your best, they're going to see you and think that you fell on some kind of hard time. And as I've said in previous videos, that happened to me one time and I will not allow it to happen again. And also when this happens, when it comes from other women, now this here, when you are in a friendship with another woman, or you have a close acquaintance and they see you getting all dialed up, you're getting dressed up to maybe go to the supermarket, go to the mall, whatever. I think you should be dressed up for the mall. That's just me. I'm more of an old school girly girl. Get dressed up to go to the mall. I do that. But when they tell you we're only going here, why are you getting dressed up? My question is, why not? Like, why would you not want to look your best out in public? Now, I understand, like, sometimes when it comes from men, it might be from the standpoint of them not wanting you to get too much attention from other men. But if you're a beautiful woman, you can't help if other men look at you. You can't help if other men stare at you. But when it comes to women trying to remind you and tell you like, hey, we're only going here. You don't really need to do all of that. Look at how I'm dressed. You don't need to do all of that. I don't think that is the right thing to say because number one, everybody's style is different. The way everyone wants to be perceived is different. This brings me to a video I saw on TikTok where people, they had this video where this young lady said that they're saying because you're married, you need to keep it together, make sure you look dressed up and all of that. But I say the opposite. And it showed her hopping into the car with her bonnet on, her shorts, like pajama shorts. She wasn't even lotioned up. She was ashy looking, and she hopped in her car to go wherever she was going. The point she was making is that because she's married, she doesn't need to do all of those things anymore. Now, while it might have been a skit, I don't know if she really does that in her real life. I will say as women, especially as women who are in touch with their femininity, I don't care if you're going to the corner store, if you're going to the supermarket, the mall, the doctor's office, your kid's school, you should always look presentable and look dialed up. Even if your clothing is not like, designer clothing, it's not the most expensive pieces, it should be clean. Even if you don't have that many clothes, you should have those clothes looking very nice and have your hair or your face presentable. I think that's just a privilege as a woman. But when people try to get you to think that you're doing too much because you want to be looking, you want to look nice when you go out in public, I don't like that. I came up around people like that who were like, oh, where are you going? Why you look like this? Why you look like that? Why can't it just be the norm for a woman to want to look nice? I understand, like I said, when it comes from a man, I kind of understand. And when it's your man, because he probably doesn't want you to have all this attention. I don't think my husband's intent for saying that was the issue. I think it was the timing. With him, he doesn't want me to take all the extra time. But look, you have to understand women are different, and he knows women are different from men. We need a little bit more time to get ourselves together. Even us girls who don't wear a whole lot of makeup and all of that. Look, I want to make sure that I have the sleep crust out of my eye. Like, I'm not doing that. Like, no, that's beneath where I am in this phase of life. And I think for every woman, you shouldn't want to go outside, at least have your hair done and have your, face looking presentable, And if you're a beautiful woman, not to sound conceited, it doesn't take that much. For me, I have a few like staple pieces like cardigans and things like that. I'll put on a nice, tank top shirt or a spaghetti strap shirt or something underneath, a nice camisole, a nice skirt, and I'm on my way. As long as you look presentable. But the main point I'm making, when you have other women constantly tell you, why are you so dressed up? Why are you so dolled up? It's because they're accustomed, and I think just the way society is today and the way women have been glorifying being unkept, they look at women who keep themselves together as if they're conceited and doing too much. And if you're a woman who errs on the side of doing too much instead of doing too little when you go out, keep doing that. Don't let women who don't care about their appearance, don't care about how they carry themselves or how they look, to stop you from going out looking presentable and beautiful in your own way. For me, I like big, like voluptuous hair. I like the curls. I like all of that. If I run to the store, if I run to Walmart, Target, if I go to Dunkin' Donuts, whatever, I'm going to be going like this, glossing and everything. I don't care. I like the glam look. Even if my clothes, look, I could have on some skinny jeans, which I don't wear too much. I could have skinny jeans and a t-shirt and some cute boots or some cute flats. And I'll still just have all of this together because I don't care. Like, I want to be perceived in that feminine way. And when a woman wants to be perceived, because the way you dress is the way people will receive you. I have to be completely transparent. In my earlier years, like maybe 10 years ago, when I didn't care about how I really dressed and how I looked when I went outside, I would roll out the bed and say, okay, I still got my scarf on. It's okay. Just, I'm only running up the street. I would get asked, and this is a real moment. When I got to the counter, they would ask, are you using cash or stamps? Because it gave off, you have an EBT card. I'm not knocking anyone who has an EBT card because you might need that for a season. Been there a long time ago and done that. Complete transparency. But when you are a woman who's not in that mode anymore, and you still dress like the stereotypical way they think somebody would look who has that kind of life, even if you have that kind of life, you don't have to look like it. You could be a woman who, you're not working, you are on hard times. But I believe that you should never look like what you're going through. Even when I was going through the hardest of times, I still look like this. I kept myself together. And I'm not saying this to say like I'm somebody, but I am somebody, okay? And you should think you're somebody. But I say that to say you don't have to look like what you're going through. You really don't. You don't have to look like you don't care about life. I mean, people will perceive you based on how you carry yourself. And if you carry yourself like you're the bag lady, people are going to treat you like you're the bag lady. But if you carry yourself in a more clean, pristine, you have class about yourself, not just how you look, but how you speak. But when your looks and the way you speak match, you tend to get better treatment from people. Like if I go out like this right now, I have people opening the door for me, even other women in my age group. Smile, they're nice to me, they're kind, but let me go outside with a scarf, some jeans, a t-shirt, look like I don't care. People mean mugging you, looking at you like those kind of things. Ain't no man's holding the door for me. He's like, bro, you got it. You look like you ready to fight anyway. You got it. So ladies, the way you carry yourself and the way you clothe yourself and the way you look matters. And don't let anybody talk you out of being cute. I mean, that's literally what it is. People like to talk you out of being cute. And I don't understand that. I think sometimes when it comes from other women, it could be a little bit of jealousy. When it comes from men, it could be a little bit of jealousy. Not that they're jealous of you. They just don't want too many people looking at you. But if your man is secure, he shouldn't worry about that. As long as you are dressed in modest, beautiful apparel, why should it even matter? So yeah, my husband tried that. I'm like, all I said to him, I said, sir, you look nice. You just came from the barbershop. And he said nothing else. It's like, what can you say? So you pretty much got a clean cut, nice clothes, freshly ironed, and you want me to just run out looking like this, what I was looking at in the moment, because we had just got up. No, sir, I'm not just throwing something on. You will wait for me. I am worth the wait. All right. Jealous people, envious people, haters do not like when you do not look like what you've been through. See, jealous people want you to be and exemplify the struggle. Jealous, envious people want you to look like every bit of what you've been through. They want you to look like you're struggling. They want you to look like you're down bad. They want you to look like you are always on edge. They want you to be anxious. They want you to be depressed. Jealous, envious people, they want you to look like what you've been through. And the fact that you don't irritates your haters. See, jealous, envious people, they absolutely enjoy, especially jealous women, they enjoy seeing other women look like they are going through it. I know that might sound bad, it might sound weird, but there are a lot of jealous, toxic women out there, men alike, but I'm talking about women who enjoy seeing a woman down bad or doing bad. When people are jealous and envious of you, they want you to look like you're not going to overcome, you're not going to get through whatever it is you're going through. Actually, they're betting on you not getting over or getting through whatever it is you're going through. They like the conversation they're able to have about your life. They like the fact that they can sit around and talk about how bad your relationship is. They like the fact that they can sit around and talk about how you're struggling financially. They like the fact that they can sit around and talk about how dangerous your neighborhood is. They like the fact that they can sit around and talk about how bad you are, a time you're having as a mother, how you're having problems with your kids, how you're having problems with so-and-so, how whatever happened to you is happening to you. There are some people who are so jealous, so envious, so miserable that they only get joy by seeing you look like what you're going through. And somebody might be thinking, if a person is going through all of that, why would someone be jealous of a person who's having relationship issues, who's having, financial issues, who doesn't live in the best place? Why would somebody be jealous or envious of that? Why would somebody not, why would somebody even give thought to somebody who's going through all of that? It's simply because you do not look like what you're going through. See, you might be going through all of that, but you don't look like it. You keep yourself together. You keep your appearance together. You keep your demeanor together. You keep your spirit together. See, if you're a woman who's able to go through hard things and not look like you're going through hard things, people will hate on you and be jealous of the fact that you're not letting life destroy you. I know it's very weird to think about, but there are negative, jealous, envious people out there like that. They expect that if you're having relationship issues, you're supposed to just lay down and die and believe your world is over. But if you're a woman who understands that men, unfortunately for your guy, maybe, men come a dime a dozen. So if that doesn't work out, then hey, it is what it is. You're not going to chase a man. And jealous, envious women, they want you to lose your entire being. They want you to not be able to breathe again because some guy is doing wrong to you. But when you don't operate that way and you could care less, you might be hurt by the fact that you might have gotten cheated on. You might hear suspicions or rumors that something's happening, but you simply are moving on and you're doing what you know to do as a woman. You're keeping yourself together. You're not worrying about it. It's going to be what it's going to be. Jealous, envious haters do not like your tenacity. They do not like your resilience. They don't like the fact that you're not really that bothered, that your life is not going to end because of some clown. A lot of people who are jealous and envious, they don't like the fact that, you might be having challenges as a mother. You might be struggling right now with your kids. Your kids are giving you a hard time. But instead of looking at that and being depressed and anxious and all these different things, you are letting your kids suffer the consequences for their actions and you're doing what you know to do. Jealous, envious haters, they're going to say things to you or try to act like somehow you're not a great mother because you're not losing sleep over the fact that your kid is acting simple or they're doing something that might be destructive, but they're old enough to suffer the consequences and still get through. You're letting things play out. If you're a woman who is confident enough, has enough faith to let things play out and you still move forward with your everyday life, you're going to have some jealous, envious hater, such as they say, that monitoring spirit that's going to see how you move. And they're not going to like the fact that you're a little too calm for all the things that you're going through. You're a little too bit at peace for all of the things that you're going through. I don't like that. I don't like the idea that you're going through all of these things and yet you're so calm, you're so at peace. How are you like that? And a lot of times for many women, especially if you're a spiritual woman, it's the Spirit of God on the inside of you that's allowing you to maintain. But haters, jealous people, they will never understand that because they are so accustomed to being controlled by their emotions and the things that other people say and do to them that they fail to recognize that they have more control over their lives than what they actually exhibit. And you're exercising that control. You are allowing things to play out the way they need to play out without losing yourself, your sanity, your spirituality, without losing your mind. And jealous people absolutely want you to be crushed under the weight of life. And when you don't give them that satisfaction, when you don't give them that entertainment, when you don't give them the show that they're looking for by seeing you completely destroyed and crushed by your circumstances and you look good in it, they're going to hate on you. See, jealous, envious, just weird people, they are used to people running around, especially women, sometimes when women go through different things and you lack faith, you lack a little bit of confidence, you'll scurry on over to your haters. You'll scurry on over to toxic people who are just going to make life worse for you. But because you're so desperate, you run to the wrong people. And when you no longer operate in desperate energy, because jealous, envious people, they are betting on you and waiting for you to be so desperate that you reach out to them so that they can just burn you in the end. And when you become hip to that, when you become more of a wise woman, you recognize that, I might be going through things, I might need help, but I'm not going to subject myself to haters. I'm not going to subject myself to people who don't even know how to treat me well while I'm going through it. When things are up, they're not around. They only want to be around when things are bad. You ever notice that? And this is a little bit of sidebar. I notice here on YouTube where there's such thing as called a struggle niche, where people love all of these content creators and people while they're on here dry begging, talking about how they're in the struggle. They can't pay their light bill. They can't do this. They can't do that. People are drawn to struggle. But the moment those people come up in some way, suddenly they're now not their fans. They're not their followers. They're saying, you're doing this for money. You're doing this for that. You're doing this for that. And I give you that example to say that much like these people on YouTube, a lot of times who love to see people struggling, when they begin to not look like the struggle, when they begin to come out on the other side, some people cannot handle that. Or when you begin to not look like what you're going through, jealous people, they're going to come out the woodwork and try to make life harder for you. And that's the reason why you have to know in the beginning who's for you and who's not really for you. See, women, if you move in desperate energy, you almost always will set yourself up to be exposed, belittled, disrespected by jealous, envious haters. And it's simply because they want you to look like struggle. They want you to look like and feel like, they want you to really feel the full extent of what you're going through. And jealous, envious people, they will often use like fear tactics in order to try to get you to really feel what might happen in your situation. They might tell you something to the extent that, well, if this keeps happening, you never know, if he leaves, and you guys are married and you guys been together for a long time. And, if this happens, this might happen. They're trying to put some kind of fear into you so that you turn your attention away from maintaining and keeping your hope onto the object of whatever's giving you a hard time. See, people oftentimes, especially when they're jealous or they're just toxic, they want you to grovel after the toxic thing that's giving you a hard time. They want you to hold on to struggle. These are often the haters that will convince you to stay in bad situations, all because they don't want to see you come up in some way. I know it's sad to think about, but there are people who are like that. And when you recognize those kind of behaviors, people who are trying to encourage you to stay in the struggle, stay in bad circumstances that are not benefiting you, that are doing nothing but hurting you, they will become jealous, envious haters when you don't let them do that to you. And when you present yourself and carry yourself like, yeah, I know I'm going through this. I might be in this situation, but I'm not staying here. Oh, they absolutely do not like your optimism. They absolutely do not like the fact that you see a light at the end of the tunnel, that you see that God is going to deliver you from this thing. They absolutely do not like it. And it's simply because a lot of times, jealous, envious people, your haters, they are more comfortable with you being down bad. They are more comfortable with you being broken. So ladies, when you recognize that somebody does not have your best interests at heart and they only want to be there for you or encourage you to stay stuck, because that's really what it is. When haters cannot believe that you are still maintaining, looking beautiful, keeping yourself together, doing the best you know how to do, despite your circumstances, they're going to look at you as if you've done something wrong. Like, how can you be so chill? How can you be so at ease when this is happening? And it's simply because you refuse to let your circumstances overtake you. Jealous, envious people, haters, they are very weird. They possess very weird negative energy. It's like they only want to see you, hopeless. They only want to see you speaking hopeless, thinking hopeless, talking hopeless. And in that, they're more comfortable with you. They'll come around more. As long as you don't show any signs of hope, they'll be there for you. But the moment you get a little confident and say, hey, I don't need this job because I know how to make money otherwise. I can work for myself. I can write a book. I can do a bit. I can make a business. I can do a side hustle, whatever you want to do. When you have that kind of talk, it's like you speak a little bit too big. You speak a little bit too, nonchalantly. You speak like you have options. And jealous, envious people don't like hearing people, other people, especially other women, speak as if they have options, especially when they don't see themselves as having options. If you're a woman who understands that you're never stuck and you have options in life, and I know a lot of women, a lot of people have been programmed to believe that you're stuck. You don't have any options. The job holds their entire life in your hands, that the world holds your entire life in your hands. The president holds your entire life in his hands. The government holds your entire life in their hands. But if you're a woman who does not subscribe to that kind of narrow-minded thinking, and when I say narrow-minded, I mean narrow-minded in a worldly perspective, not from a spiritual perspective. I have to say that because from a spiritual perspective, especially if you're a believer such as myself, narrow is the way. So I'm not saying like that. I'm saying that from a perspective of just leveling up and knowing you have options. And if you want to be spiritual, believing that God can do all things. See, haters don't want you to believe that God can do all things. Jealous people don't want you to have any kind of spirituality or hope. They just want you to see what's in front of you and get stuck. Jealous people are dependent on you seeing what's right in front of you and saying, I'll never make it. And when you are a woman who doesn't think that way, they won't be able to stand you. They won't be able to stomach the fact that not only are you looking good, look, you might not even have that much money. You might not have that much money, but you have enough to at least get your hair done or do your own hair. You might go to discount stores, dollar stores, and get you outfits that you know how to throw together and make it do what it does. You might go to, retail stores, Macy's, Nordstrom's, places where they do makeup, and just get a little makeup done, make yourself look good. And they're not going to understand, like, aren't you struggling? Aren't you going through? How do you look like this? Oh, that's irresponsible. How do you have your hair done, your nails done, and you're going through this? Because you can. Because that's your way of maintaining. Because in addition to you trusting God and doing different things and doing what you know to do, you're still going to keep yourself together. You'll never look like what you're going through, and the haters can't stand that. So as confident, leveled up women, you might be going through a time. I understand, because there were many times in my life where I was really going through it. I didn't feel like I was really, my life really wasn't where it should be at my age. That's really the way I used to feel. I would always feel like somehow I'm behind in life. And when you feel that way, the way I see it, the last thing you want to do is actually look that way. So I always subscribe to the idea of that I don't have to look like what I'm going through. And if other people don't understand how I look, how I maintain, how I operate the way that I do, that's on them. Let them assume what they want to assume. But if people can only accept you when you look like what you're going through and you act desperate and needy, those are not the people for you. So stay away from jealous, envious people who do not like for you to not look like what you're going through, because they're haters. And if they don't like you in the struggle, or they only appreciate you in the struggle, they will not like you when you level up. All right? Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.